LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
The place is here and the time is now. Let's take it round for round. And people gather round. Let's see who can win the crown. All the marbles involved. Football, baseball, or golf. Who's dominating the hoops? Who's talking false or the truth? Yeah, come and show me your war face. I'll show you my war face. No holds barred, so for your sake, you better show up in good shape. Valuable information is key to your domination. So focus on preparation. Online is your reputation. Yeah, it's one-on-one. You and me, ain't no fear in me. You will see. When it comes to this, you be wearing the number 23. In debate, I hold my weight, cause these sports I'm attached to it. Your legacy, get ready, cause I'm gonna set a match to it. Hey, burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire. Fire, 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 burn 'em. Fire, 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 legacy on fire.
This week's panel: Jay Quimby, Robb Johnson, and James Brown.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome. We are back. We are live. It is season 2 of Legacy on Fire here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. I'm your host, Robb, and with me today we have the esteemed panel here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Let me go ahead and introduce them to you. First, you see my man, Mr. James Brown. He's our inside reporter, Atlanta Falcons, and all things NFC South. What's up, James? How's it going today, brother?
What's going on, Darrell? Going good. Just happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, brother. And also, we got our man, Myth, the absolute legend. He's the co-host of the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast, as well as the co-founder of the LegacyMaker Sports Network, Jeremiah Quimby. How you doing, sir?
What's up? Another great day in paradise.
Another great day in paradise. And, of course, last but not least, the man who's at the No BS Sports Zone. I could go on and on because there's so many. I'm just going to call him out, Mr. Robb Johnson. How you doing, Robb?
Let's debate, guys.
Let's debate. We've got a good one on hand today, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot that has been going on here in the sports world. We got NBA playoffs, all that stuff happened tonight, but it's been a wild day in the NBA. So before we get rolling, before we get into all of this crazy stuff today, let's talk. Robb, what were your thoughts on all the stuff that happened in the NBA today?
Man, it's been a crazy day, and I think that Kawhi Leonard being out for the Los Angeles Clippers is huge. You talk about a guy in the last 2 games who's averaged 32.5 points per game. Utah team that historically has been great at home, and now you have to go back to Utah where Paul George is going to have to elevate his game, just like Kevin Durant elevated his game last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. It is going to be tough for the Clippers. However, if they can somehow pull this out and Paul George can pull this out, then there's a good chance that he could start getting his name into some conversations, but it's going to be very difficult.
Oh, yeah. I mean, James, what are your thoughts? Because it's been a wild one today. What are your thoughts on today?
Definitely been a wild day in the NBA. I mean, as Robb said, with the Kawhi Leonard news, that injury, that devastates the Clippers lineup. I mean, you're talking about a guy who, while he isn't a vocal leader, I mean, he is the leader of that team. When you think of the Clippers at this point in time, you think Kawhi Leonard. And for him to be down with this injury and know of definite timetable when he's going to be back, that's a huge blow. And like Robb said, Paul George has really got to step it up to make sure that he can get his team not only the win in Game 5 tonight, but hopefully another win in either Game 6 or 7. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, we're going to need to see Paul George from Indiana if we want to see the Clippers advance here.
I definitely agree with that. The one thing that's kind of got me going is like, wow, Chris Paul's situation is just the timing is impeccable. I don't know if he got like a playoff cold or something, and I don't know what happens time. It's like you get close, you start making move in the playoffs, and bad things happen to Chris Paul. So that's a tough one for me.
I mean, yeah, it seems like every year almost when Chris Paul is in the playoffs, we have a situation where he's hurt, injured, or nicked up. It's unfortunate to see, and it looked like this was the year where everything was really lining up for the Phoenix Suns. Hopefully, he can be back at least for Game 1. If not Game 1, hopefully by Game 2, because Phoenix is definitely going to need him. I mean, the Suns are a totally different team when Paul is not on the court. I mean, he facilitates the offense. He gets Devin Booker his shots when Booker can't necessarily create all of them. I mean, he gets the offensive line. He kind of helps out on the defensive end as well. And regardless of whether they play the Jazz or the Clippers, they're going to need Chris Paul to win that series. So that's a big blow if he can't get back.
I 100% agree. Rob, your thoughts on that before we move on?
It's big, but I'll also say this, guys. Something else happened today, and correct me if I'm wrong. Donnie Nelson, 22 years in Dallas? 22 years. Think about this.
23 years.
23 years. Think about this. That's the Dirk. That's the Dirk era. That's when Dallas, they were struggling through the 90s. They really started to become that team again in the 2000s, etc. This is a bad sign for Rick Carlisle, and he's done a great job there in Dallas. But just like Mike McCarthy in Green Bay, you only get so much time after winning a championship. And, I said it earlier in our group chat, guys, that 2011 Dallas Mavericks team does not get enough credit for just how good they were. So Rick Carlisle, I believe, has one more year, and he better get something done or he's going to be gone too. So I think that development today in their loss for general manager was huge.
Yeah, they already gave him the vote of confidence. Yes, Jay.
Do you think that this move was made because of the Luka drama that we've heard little tidbits about?
Yeah, I think this has got to be piece of it. I mean, the Porzingis situation is, Porzingis comes out, says what he says, and I think that has to be part of it. But, looking at Luka's situation, like he's been doing it all. And I'm hearing that he's a ball hog, but when your next guy is not doing anything to take the load off of you, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You can ask Kobe, God rest his soul. He had a couple of those situations those years after Shaq left.
Well, wait, Darrell. Let's be honest here. They have shooters around Luka. Dallas was up 2-0. The bottom line is the Mavericks did not get it done. It's like when Dirk was playing the Miami Heat in 2011. They were getting their butts whooped in game 2. They came back. They showed heart. Luka, even for his greatness, goes in cold spells. And you can't do that as a superstar. Do you really want to supermax him? I compare him to Kevin Garnett in the 90s when Kevin Garnett made all that money. Do you want to be the Minnesota Timberwolves 2.0? The Dallas Mavericks and Luka better think long and hard before they make this decision.
It's going to be an interesting one. Now let's go ahead and take off with quick takes. So we're going to start off quick takes with this one. The Bucks and Nets game last night was golden opportunity for the Milwaukee Bucks last night, and they let that thing slip away. James, I'm going to start with you. What were your thoughts on that one?
I mean, Milwaukee just fumbled the game away. I mean, you were up 17 points going into the half, I believe. You're facing a team in the Nets that you have Kevin Durant, you have James Harden out there on one leg, Kyrie's out, and you somehow can't come up with the road win that you need at this point because now the Nets have a 3-2 lead, and you're going back to Milwaukee. Now you need to win you need to really win both of the next 2 games to go ahead and clinch this series. I mean, Milwaukee missed a hell of an opportunity last night. I mean, and for Giannis, if you're a two-time MVP and the defensive player in the league, I'm sorry, you have got to take Kevin Durant. You knew going into last night's game, Kevin Durant was going to be the only reason that the Brooklyn Nets won. And what did you do? You let Kevin Durant go off for 49 points. That is the bottom line why they lost the game. No one could contain or stop Kevin Durant. And for Giannis to be the defensive player in the league and a 2-time MVP, I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. Not to mention, you can't knock down your free throws.
What about you, Jay? What are you thinking about that?
No, I agree 1,000% with what James just said. Because why did you not have Giannis? There would never, maybe once I saw him in the game. Besides that, it looked like Kevin Durant from 5-6 years ago. He looked like, he's spotty now, but he just could not miss anything.
He was amazing.
You can be spotty when you're hitting from all angles.
Yeah.
But see that they didn't facilitate, they didn't make the game plan to change it up. Even being up by 17, yeah, we did something right in the first half, but you still have to account for the people that can go off like that.
Exactly. Rob, what about you on this one?
All right, guys, this comes down to a few things. Number one, when you have a guy in PJ Tucker who stands in the corner all night, you don't have to worry about playing defense. So basically, Kevin Durant was staying in the corner, preserving his energy. That's why he got on Chris Middleton in the last 5 minutes of the game, because his energy was preserved. That's on Budenholzer. That's on Milwaukee. Second of all, everybody talks about Giannis's free throws. Guys, he was 4 of 7. Sometimes Shaq couldn't go 4 of 7. So here's the
That was
defining
actually
moment.
a good night for Shaq.
Yeah, exactly, Jay. Here's the defining moment for Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's 104-104, I believe, right?
Right.
You have James Harden on you with one leg, 46 minutes, okay? And you take a jump shot. That lets me know you are afraid to go to the basket because you are not clutch yet. Giannis has got to get together. They will win game 6, but will not win game 7. And just as far as Milwaukee goes, you got size. You outdid them in the paint, 52-32. What does that tell you guys when somebody outdoes you in the paint, 52-32? Get your
They
butt
want
in
it
the paint
more.
and get it done.
Yep.
Exactly. Get your butt in the paint and get it done, guys. They should be getting 70 to 80 points a game in the paint easily.
Y'all
Now-
think Durant is the number 1 player in the league
That was-
now?
Exactly.
No,
So
no doubt about it. No doubt about
I
it.
want a real quick one on that. Rob, you said no doubt. What about you, James?
Nah, I still need to see it one more, maybe 2 more times.
One
I
more, two
mean,
more
he had one good game as a man. I need to see it again where he is
Guys,
the man.
but guys, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this real quick. Besides Donovan Mitchell, who's the number 1 superstar right now in this NBA playoffs?
I mean,
Kevin
Durant's the only
Durant.
superstar that's left.
I would say Devin Booker, but that's just me though. Devin
I
Booker's
mean,
been great.
Book on rest. Book getting his rest. So, right now, KD's the only superstar on the court.
Yeah, but this is
Book's
only first
resting up
playoffs, guys. Yeah.
Man, but see, I would say argue Dame. Dame is way better all the time. I know he's not in the playoffs anymore, but Damian Lillard is the man.
He doesn't play
He-
defense though, Jay. Kevin Durant can play defense. He can play offense. He can score.
But when
he
you
can
shoot the
assist.
ball the way he does, you don't got to play defense.
Yeah, but
I mean,
Dame is
Dame
also,
has to score to even keep his team competitive. The man
Well, see,
can't be
that's the-
expected to play defense
Well, see,
too
that's
all
the
the
thing,
time.
guys.
If
That's
he
the
had
thing.
2 other people like Durant has always had, Durant's always had somebody, another all-star playing with him since he's come into the league.
I love it. And on each direction, everybody was hitting the spots on them.
Durant, Darrell, can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
If Mike D'Antoni ends up going to Portland, Dame will win a lot of MVPs, but he won't win championships. So what's the difference,
That's real
guys?
true.
What's
That's
the
real
difference, guys?
That's just
Come
the
on
truth.
now. What's the difference?
Now we're gonna
Rings are way more important than MVPs. That's all I'm saying.
True.
we're going to swing over to our next topic in quick takes, and that is OBJ. Will OBJ be traded in this offseason? I know we got one of our guys in here, LA Brodus, in this, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be interested to hear what we got to say here. Quick takes on that, y'all. Jay, will OBJ be traded in this offseason?
I want him to be. I mean, I just, I don't know. For what they gave up at King's Ransom, and we've seen coming some of the other things, which we'll get to later. I just think he's more of a poison than anything. When he's out, they play better. He's not demanding the ball. It's easier for Baker to make the plays to the open people instead of, I got to look for OBJ so he doesn't bitch at me. So, yeah, I would send his ass packing. Right
What
down
about
to
you?
Texans.
What about you, James?
I mean, at this point, OBJ can't win, man. If he cries about getting the ball, oh, he's a poison. If he's trying to lead the team, oh, he's a poison. OBJ can't win. He just can't win. I feel, honestly, a guy of his talent, a guy of his caliber, you keep him on the team because at least you know what he's going to do? He's going to open up the offense for everybody else. Maybe, all right, the ball griping, okay, maybe I can understand that. But when you have a guy that can take the top off the defense, that opens up everything underneath for Jarvis Landry. They got, 2-3 tight ends that can open up across the middle. You got Nick Chubb in the backfield and Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield. You keep OBJ in Cleveland. That is a definite deep threat that Baker can dial up when necessary. You keep him in Cleveland.
Rob,
But
what
why
about
would you keep him if he can't stay healthy?
Injury is a part of the game. Yeah, he tore his ACL last season, but before that he played 6-7 games. I mean, yeah, we're going into a 17-game season now. Health has been an issue for almost every team. OBJ, I believe, will have a healthy season this year, and he's going to ball out.
All right, Rob, what about
He's
you?
coming back strong.
Hey, James, quick question. What did the Titans give up for Julio Jones? A second and third, correct?
Yeah, the Titans gave up a second and a
A
fourth?
second and a fourth.
Third,
Second and a fourth. Okay.
And a crisp
well,
high five.
Okay. All right.
No, I heard it was a Butterfinger. It was a Butterfinger.
Okay, my bad. I'll do it.
So let's
I love
okay, guys. So
Butterfingers.
let's break this down. So let's break this down. Julio has been available throughout his career 4 times. He's been in the league, I believe, since 2011. He's been available at least 4 seasons, right? OBJ has only been available 1 full season. That was 2016. Since 2017, you're talking about a guy who's had 25. He's had less than 80 catches in 2017. If I am the Cleveland Browns, right, I'm trying to compile picks because you don't know what's going to happen with Baker Mayfield. You don't know what's going to happen, etc. But you know they're a team that's built for the future. If I'm the New England Patriots, send a 5th-round pick to Cleveland. I mean, he's not worth more than he has to reprove himself. If I'm the Patriots or if I'm the Washington football team, pair him with Terry McLaurin because you at least know that if you can have a guy that can take the top off the defense, Terry McLaurin's going to catch 100 to 110 balls. And you're going to open up for your tight ends. So at this point, and you have to look at things historically, guys. Look at some of the great wide receivers besides Jerry Rice, right? They started slowing down in their 30s. And I read an article there talking about Randy Moss, how I think one of the former Raiders coaches said that he started losing his ability. He didn't have great work ethic. Julio has great work ethic. OBJ has great work ethic. So as long as he has great work ethic, guys, he will have a place in this league. He just has to stay healthy. And if he can get to the right spot this season, I believe a trade would be great for him. Then I think he can have some success.
I'm interested to see how it goes down because, with OBJ.
Maybe even Green Bay.
I was just thinking it, Rob. I really was.
I've been hearing all that stuff for years. If it goes to Green Bay, I'll be shocked. I think if he goes anywhere, it'd be more maybe a team like San Francisco or, heck, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to the Giants at this point. They might have a reconciliation, but I just can't see them.
Another receiver? Another one? Really?
I mean, you
another one?
never know.
They signed Kenny Galladay.
6 wide?
Yeah, right.
OBJ is gonna play tight end. Like
they want to make sure
they're gonna have 4 linemen, the quarterback, and 6 wide receivers.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna flex Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's gonna be right guard or right tackle. He can flex out as eligible.
Well, they got Calvin Benjamin
back to the Giants.
They got Calvin.
Hey, that's the center. That's the center.
No, Ingram's probably better at blocking now in his career than catching a damn cold.
There we go. Last one on PlayStation before we head to our main topics of the day. I'm going to start this one off with Robb. Taylor Heineke, Fitzmagic says both guys are having a pretty decent camp right now in Washington. Who's going to be the starter? Who starts week 1 for the Washington football team?
Ryan Fitzpatrick is 38 years old, right? And everybody loves him, Fitzmagic and all that. For all the hoopla last year, he threw 13 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, all right? I mean, if you're Washington, and listen, guys, historically, we know about Washington. We know about their fans. You know as well as I know, if he comes out and stinks it up against the Chargers week 1, where are the fans going to be hollering?
Get him.
They're going to be yelling for Heineke because I'm telling you, because that playoff performance is still fresh in everyone's mind. The tweets, you can go back and look at the tweets. Taylor Heineke, I believe, and I've been kind of down on him because of, he hasn't had much success in his career. I think you got to give him a chance with his athletic ability and things that he can do. Man, and the defense is getting a little better in the East and around the NFL. You're going to need a running quarterback. And, Fitzmagic, he has his highs and then his lows. So I give Heineke a chance.
All right. Quimby, what about you, sir?
I agree 100% with Rob. I think Taylor Heineke, I know Tampa's my team, but, what he did against that defense, he kept the Washington football team into that game the entire time. Coming out there and going against that monster defense that made Pat Mahomes run like 400 and some yards backwards.
Right.
Why not? And I mean, Fitzmagic has always known that if he comes off the bench, he's going to throw for 400 yards. I don't care if it's got 3 minutes left in the damn game.
He's going to figure it out.
He always plays better coming off the bench. He's making the starter, he folds. But I would definitely, yeah.
Well, what about you, James?
I'm going to go with the money. And the money says that Fitzmagic is going to be the starter week 1. I mean, you don't pay a guy $10 million, what, $10.4 million to be exact, to come in and be the backup. Now, is it going to be successful? Who knows? Typically, when Fitzmagic's been the starter, it turns tragic pretty quickly. I mean, we're going to be honest here. Every time he's been expected to go in there and lead the team, he leads them in interceptions, a couple turnovers here and there. So it might not be long until we see Heineke, but I think to start things off, we're going to see Fitzmagic.
Hey, Darrell,
right.
I got a quick question. James was a little inaccurate. There was information. Do you remember a guy that played for Green Bay that went to Seattle and played for $10 million and didn't start because a guy named Russell Wilson came in? Trust me, my friend, it can happen.
I see
Now,
no
it can
man.
happen, but when your owner is different from the owner in God rest his soul, Paul Allen. When Paul Allen's like, look, the best guy's going to play. Yeah, it's a little different.
But just remember
not
one
paying
thing.
$10 million for a guy to sit on the bench.
Just remember one thing. Heineke can play for one reason. The difference between Kansas City and Washington has an awesome offensive line.
That'll be blocking for Fitzmagic week 1.
Yeah, we will see all that coming to fruition here in the next couple of weeks.
There's a guy still on this team though from last year.
Kyle Allen.
No, not Allen. I don't care. Montez. Rob and I both talked about Steven Montez. Hey, you never know.
Shoot, why not? Why not?
The way he played in college was very similar to one Russell Wilson.
Well, we'll see
the way he played.
We'll see what old Ron Rivera has up his sleeves as they get closer and closer to the season. We're about a month away from from training camp. Preseason is like a month and a half away. I can't believe football season crept up like that, but hey, we're almost there. Now, everybody, it's time for the main portion of the show. It is time for our main topics. And for those who have never been a part of Legacy on Fire, this is how it goes. Each panelist will have 1 minute to discuss on each topic, give their own opinion, let us know how they feel. Then, after that, 30 seconds apiece for each person will get a chance to fire back, let them know how they feel, let them know how they felt about everybody's comments, all that fun stuff. And then at the very end, ladies and gentlemen, you'll get a chance to put out the fire. So I know you guys are excited. We're ready to get this thing going. We got some good ones coming up. First topic that we got for today is the NBA ready for a female head coach? Yes, we've been hearing all the whispers. We've been hearing everything. Hey, they're going to, we got Becky Hammond's going to get an opportunity over there in Portland. She's going to get an opportunity to interview. We heard Teresa Witherspoon. We've heard her name out there that she's going to get an opportunity to, with the Pelicans. And we also heard one of my favorites, I know one of Rob's favorites, Don Staley. Also, name is being mentioned out there. So we're starting to hear this, and I'm kind of excited about this because I want to see how it goes. So I'll start this one off with you, Rob. Is the NBA ready for a female head coach?
Let's hope I don't get in trouble for this. All right. Too late. If we have to ask, are we ready for a female head coach? Then maybe we just aren't ready. But let me say this. A woman like Dawn Staley, who is 477 and 178 in college, she is excellent. I believe she would be a great head coach in the NBA. In fact, I actually, was putting out for her. I wanted her to be the coach of New York Knicks before the season, but of course they got a good coach as they have now. What I don't want to see is a situation. I want the women to be treated equally. Meaning that when they come in the league and they get into an argument with a player or the ref, I don't want that player or that ref getting destroyed on Twitter because they got in a fight or got into an argument with the coach. Because women can coach as well as the men can coach. And, it's a situation where I think the NBA is ready, but they're not ready. So I'm kind of split, y'all. I think they're ready, but I don't think they're ready. I think they're ready in the sense that the women have all the talent. They've got all the ability. But I just think that we got some people out there who they're just not ready. They're just not ready. And I just don't think they're ready. But I think they're ready, but they're not. It's kind of a split for me. It's a tough, deep topic.
I'm going to stick at buzzer.
All righty. I know you was waiting for it. James, what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I definitely feel like the NBA is ready for a female head coach. I mean, if you look at it, what is the objective of being a coach? To coach your team to win basketball games. And I believe that there are women that are out there that are capable of doing that. I mean, if we look at Becky Hammond, she's been an assistant on the Spurs for maybe almost a decade now. Learning under Popovich, who was a great coach himself. You have several coaches, I believe, that are out there that could be ready. I mean, when it comes down to it, a coach's job is to get the team to win, to coach the team to win. And as long as the coach can come in and do that, whether she's male or female, everything's going to be all right because we know winning cures everything. So if the coach is a female, look, all she's got to do is win. I feel like a woman in today's NBA is going to get a fair shot at that. We just got to see who's going to be the first team to do it. I mean, I believe they're definitely ready because if we look at it from a player standpoint, players that want to be coached, that are wanting to learn, as long as that coach knows what they're talking about, regardless whether it's male or female, guess what? They're going to listen. They're going to pay attention. And as long as you can help the guys win, the guys that play for their contracts, as long as you can help them get that new shiny contract, the guys that are looking for a little bit of clout, if you can spot them up in the corner for threes, they look good for Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Everybody wins. Everybody's happy.
All righty, Jay, what are your thoughts, man? NBA ready for that head coach?
I just want to know why it hasn't happened, to be honest with you, with the way, Hammond really opened it up. She coached the first game when Pop got ejected. But, you've seen what we had the WNBA for how many years now, women's basketball in the Olympics. And I did my research because, to be honest, I wasn't really prepared for this when you all sent it to me. And I looked at what Dawn Staley has done with South Carolina. Amazing. Won gold medals. She's done it all. The woman's resume speaks for itself. And all of us are all in relationships. Let me tell you, if somebody starts giving a woman sideways, they definitely can hold their own.
You ain't never lie about that. Rob, this is your chance to fire back, sir.
Sorry about my little lighting situation. But
it's all
good. But like I said, I'm ready for it. I know you guys are ready for it. But guys, like I said, I know there are some uncomfortable truths here. There's going to come a time where there's a female coach and Stephen A. Smith gets on TV and blasts her. Is he going to lose his job? If Skip Bayless goes off on one of the coaches, are they gonna fire him? Is cancel culture too much to have a female coach? All I'm asking is give the women the equal treatment you give the guys. If I can blast a guy for making a mistake and being stupid, I'm gonna do the same with the female coach. Don't cancel me. That's all
That's all you have.
Do not please do not cancel me.
I'm just trying to give her the same respect.
Because look, guys, let's keep it honest, right?
He's right.
Look, guys, let's be honest, right? I'm on Facebook today, right? And I see something on ESPN that says prayers up, 4 black coaches in the NBA still in the league and the NBA playoffs. Really, ESPN? So we're really doing that in 2021? Like black guys can't coach? Why? For what? We know black guys can coach. That's what I'm saying. Our media out here and on a bigger scale uses these things for more ratings and trying to get attention and trying to cause a stir. Let people just be people.
I just had to do it once. James, your turn.
I mean, I kind of see where Rob's coming from. Hopefully the media wouldn't take that route, but I definitely believe women can coach in the NBA. We just need to see who gets the opportunity to do it first. And hopefully they go to a well-run organization that has a team in place or at least a star to work with. Give them something to work with. Let's see what happens. I want to see it. Let's make it happen. Hopefully someone does. Let's see it.
Sure.
Quimby, your chance to fire back.
There's 6 assistant coaches that are women in the NBA right now. I had no clue, to be honest with you. But yeah, they're ready, and the cancel culture scares everybody. But let's be honest. If we could just go with our First Amendment right and say what we want to say, and people just not get so butthurt, it'd be all right. And they're out there working. They're doing their job. If they can't take the shit, they shouldn't have the job.
All right, real quick, 1-word answer on this. James, who will be the first women's head coach?
First I'm going to say winning cures cancel culture. So, winning will cure that. I honestly believe I want to go with Becky Hammond. I mean, she's proven that she can be the assistant coach in San Antonio. She's learned under Popovich. As Jay said, she's taken over when he's been ejected before. So, I mean, it seems like she may be the closest and maybe the favorite to be the first to land that job. So I'm going to go with Becky Hammond.
Rob?
I'm going to go Don Staley. Hopefully in 10 years we won't have this conversation anymore.
Definitely agree. Jay?
See, I like Don Staley, but I'm going to go off the thing, and I'm going to say Sacramento Kings, Lindsey Harding. I really like what she's done, and I want to say we see it within the next 3 years because 10 years is too damn long.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're getting to see that we're hearing names out there. I always, and I know Rob agreed with me on this one, I always wish Vivian Stringer had got the opportunity to be a head coach in the NBA because I thought she'd have been perfect for it, but that's just me. Now, if you go back and you look at, history, you look at movie history, the New York Knicks used to have Eddie as their head coach, but that's a long story, and that's a whole nother day.
Hey, Darrell, where did Don Staley go to college?
UVA, baby! I'm hoping she come back to UVA, but I like Tina Thompson. Coach Thompson is doing a good job up there. She got a couple of more years before we get into that. All right, now we're going to go over to college football. College football right now, we're hearing that we could have a 12-team playoff in the college football world. Now, I'm very interested on this one because we're right now we got 4 teams in there, but they're talking about expanding it to 12. So this has been very interesting, but I'm going to start this one with Jay. Jay, should they expand this thing to 12 teams?
No. And the reason I say no is because you put that many teams in, they got to play down to it. Your risk of injury is so high, and one player on a team can change the entire dynamics.
Right.
So if you're I think expanding it maybe to 8 teams, okay, I could see that. They play one more game, but you cannot add 2 more games to this.
What about you, Jay?
I mean, I feel like the kids signed up to have the opportunity to win a national championship. And if we expand that to 12, that gives 12 teams the opportunity to do that. That's 12 coaches. That's 12 quarterbacks, 12 superstars, whoever. I feel like it should be done. Maybe if 12, no one likes 12, maybe we can do a smaller number. But I feel like this is also going to be for those people that cry the SEC is the only team that makes the playoffs. 12 teams. Now the rest of the teams, they get a shot. They get a fair shot to get in there to prove that they're just as good as all these SEC and other conference teams. Let's expand it. Let's get the kids in there. Let's see what they can do. Best team will win.
All right, Rob, what are your thoughts?
Guys, I mean, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I am quite sick, quite disgusted, and angry. I remember coming up as a young guy, as a young man, watching college football. It was all about the regular season. The regular season meant something. When you think about all the things that have happened, especially during the BCS era, mind you, I grew up a Miami Hurricanes fan. And if you remember in 2000, they beat Florida State. And Florida State ended up going to play Oklahoma in probably one of the worst national championship games in memory. But you know what I like about it? Miami came back motivated. They came back hungry. They beat everybody down on their way to a national championship. That's what I used to like about it. Do you remember when Tennessee couldn't beat Florida? And they finally got through and they won the BCS national championship? Do you remember when Ohio State played Michigan in 06? I think it was 06, 07, and they had that epic game, and Ohio State went up to lose. They ended up losing to Florida. But it would have tainted that great game if they had played again. Guys, college football is about the regular season. It's the theater. You could be 9-0 going into a Thursday night game, blackout against a 2-3-4 win team, and they upset you. Now you're going to have an SEC team, Alabama, lose 4 or 5 games and still get in the damn tournament. Guys, it's turning into a joke. And these presidents are only doing it for the money. And I know the money's important, but you are killing college football. You're killing the tradition. We've already lost a lot of our traditions. It's horrible, guys. Horrible.
There we go. Next, Heading up to Jay. Jay, fire back, brother. What are your thoughts?
I'm not mad at it. I agree with like the BCS system was flawed because I remember 2003 season, Miami of Ohio went undefeated but didn't get a chance to play for a national championship. They got put off at like the Bourbon Bowl or some shit, and you know. I like the way the playoff is, the 4 teams getting in. I agree with 100% with Rob. It's all about the dollar signs. We get more views, we get more sponsors, and that brings in more money. It's all about the dollar bills.
All right, James, your chance to fire back.
I mean, I think it's going to happen. We're definitely going to see it. As everyone said, it's about the money. I mean, I think we're coming off a year where due to the pandemic, a lot of these schools and organizations, they actually lost money. So to make some of that money back, we're going to see an expanded playoffs. So get ready for it, whether it's 10 teams, 12 teams, whether it's 10 teams and 2 get a bye, however they're going to work it, they're going to find a way to work it. And I feel like this honestly may mean that the regular season means more, especially if you kind of put some incentive for being a top seed. I mean, that could definitely force these teams to actually, take the regular season serious and actually play their best to make sure that there's one of those top seeded teams. As long as there's a reward there for that, I feel like that will definitely negate some of that Alabama possibly losing 5 games and still getting in. I mean, when's the last time Alabama lost 5 games?
All right,
Hopefully
Rob.
soon.
Yeah, right. Rob, your chance to fire back.
I don't see it.
But guys,
Nah.
But James, you're not getting my point. My point is that I'm not saying realistically 5 games. I'm just saying Alabama could lose a few games and they'll still get in because of the schedule, etc. Guys, let's think about something. If you think about the last maybe 5 years of college football, 10 years before that, upsets meant so much more. Now, an upset, who really cares? Alabama loses a game, someone loses a game, so what? We got 12 teams in. We can do whatever we want to now. So, I mean, and we know who's going to get in. And the biggest indictment, go back and look at the ranking system last year. College football, Florida, when they lost to LSU, they were still ranked in the top 5 or some trash like that. It's turning into college basketball, and guys, that is not something you want. Be very careful what you wish for. That's what I said with the BCS. Be very careful what you wish for.
Now, I'm one thing on this before we move on. I kind of agree where I don't know 12 teams is the answer, but I do feel like if you're going to do it, the top 2 teams in the nation should at least get a bye. So personally, I would either say it's going to be 6 or 8. Well, at least 6, or you're going to make it maybe like the NFL and there's 7 and the number 1 team gets the bye. I don't care how they figure it out. But we are, like James said, we know that it's going to get expanded because they got to make that money. People have been clamoring for it. We'll get to see those teams like the UCFs and all of them say, hey, man, we want a shot. We want a shot. We don't have to go. You don't have to go buy your own championship ring no more. You can go prove it on the field at that time. So
are they really going to get a shot? Come on, man. Are they really going to get a shot?
But let's see.
Really going to get a shot?
If you go back and look at all the rankings over the those teams like that go undefeated, what are they always ranked? 5th.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you something. You have a bunch of SEC teams who only have a couple of losses, and their strength of schedule is off the charts, and you got 6, 7 SEC teams in there. I don't want to hear nothing. All right.
You know what? I would not be surprised.
Right now.
I feel like that's where the money will kick in.
Tell me right now. I don't want to hear anything. People complaining. I don't want to hear anything.
James got something.
I mean, but when we really look at college football, I mean, really, the SEC is what draws people in. So if we do get 5 teams, I mean, it seems like that's the only region of the country that's watching it anyway. So I mean, what's the problem?
So why so James Brown? Why have the Rays been so daggone low the last few years? We're sick of seeing Bama.
We're talking college.
We're sick of seeing the same
Did you say the
teams,
Rays?
all right?
How about college? You say Rays? We're talking college football.
All right.
The Rays,
move
man.
We're gonna move on to the next topic. I knew we were gonna get a little heated on that one. We're gonna move on to the next topic. Now, the next one. This one's a little bit close to James' heart. Oh, Julio Jones is now. I know this one hurts. I don't even want James. If you need to close your eyes, I understand completely. If you don't want to look at the screen right now, but yes, Julio Jones is in Tennessee. He looks like Derrick Henry just took one of the numbers off and they just put him at receiver. That's how huge my man Julio Jones is. But he is now in Tennessee. And the question at hand is, do you think that the Atlanta Falcons got enough in the return? So I'm going to start with you on this one, James. Do you think that the Atlanta Falcons got enough on their return?
I mean, you got to look at it. Atlanta was cap strapped. They were down on their luck. They needed money. I mean, we're out there nickel and diming it, trying to get whatever free agents we can. We had to hope and pray for a miracle to sign this draft class. It turns out that miracle was trading Julio Jones. So, when you're strapped for cash, you really just can't go auctioning off your own stuff, demanding what other people give you for it. So while it's only a second round pick, I do believe that Atlanta got something that was comparable. Not exactly the talent level of a Julio Jones, but you got to look at it this way. They cleared $15 million off their salary cap. This is a team that was strapped for cash. They got Tennessee to take on all of that contract for this year, so that saves them money in the long run. So based off of that, I'm going to say it worked out for both sides.
All right, Rob, what are your thoughts on this, man? It's just different now to see Julio in that uniform. Do you think Atlanta got enough in this trade?
He gave him too much. I'll tell you why. Because let me say, what is Julio? 32, 33 years old?
32.
32. If you go look at Julio's injury history, you want to talk about a long list. It's like going to a
He
restaurant.
plays through most of those.
Hey, listen, James, my turn, sir, my turn. Listen. If he was that, if he was that effective, they would have given him that 25-point lead. Anyway, let me finish. Now, pedal toe.
Did you just kick him in the nuts for nothing?
Hey, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Hey, I'm just being honest right now. Just being honest, James. No offense. I'm sorry, but let's keep it honest on Julio Jones. He's a great player, but let's keep it honest, guys. He's 32 years old. Hamstring injury, pedal foot injury, hamstring. He's dealing with hamstring injuries. I'm telling you right now. The Atlanta Falcons got their tight end out of Florida. He's going to be the next big thing in Atlanta. They still have Calvin Ridley. Matt Ryan is still a better quarterback. Again, Matt Ryan is still a better quarterback than Ryan freaking Tannehill, who we saw in the playoff game digress. Okay? Can he stay healthy? You're giving up an old receiver. The Falcons are fine. The Falcons will get help in the future. They gave up too much. Julio is an injury concern. It's over. It's too much hype around it. I don't care. They're the Tennessee Titans. He'll disappear like Randy Moss did in his few games. It's over.
Jay, this is your chance. What are your thoughts?
I'm very excited that he's no longer in NFC South, but
I bet you are.
I think that Atlanta messed up by not making this trade pre-draft because there were second-round wide receivers they could have got help this year. They took a dude in the 6th round that might not even make the team this year. Besides that, yeah, they don't have a running back. I really think the Titans made out the deal, man.
James,
What?
I know James can't wait to fire back. James, fire back. Go ahead.
They should have done it pre-draft.
Should have done it 3 years ago.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, James. Fire back.
All right. I'm gonna go over, but goddamn, get the hell with it. All right, you said they should have traded Julio pre-draft. They couldn't. You know what? Cap concerns, cap space. They didn't have the cap space. It was always going to have to be a post-June 1 type of trade. And according to some league rules, technically, you can't say, hey, I got this for you here. You can't get it till after June, but I got it for you. You can't do that as of right now, technically. So that's why it took place after the draft, after June 1.
Why didn't they do it last year when he was, in
because
his wheelchair?
You still had a chance. You have Dan Quinn, who was struggling to find a way to keep his job. You have Thomas Dimitroff, who probably went to the season thinking, hey, I still got some time here. And when it didn't pan out, yeah, that's when you start thinking of trading Julio Jones. But you don't go into the season where the coach needs to win and the GM needs to win to say, hey, let's trade the most effective offensive weapon we have. And to go off from Rob, who says that Julio is so injury prone, Rob, do you know that when it out of 10 years, Julio's only played less than 10 games. Actually, less than 12 games, twice? I mean, last year he played 9. I mean, the year before that, 15, 16, 16, 14, 16, 15. You have to go back to 2013 where he only played 5 games. Where's all this injury prone coming from?
Okay.
James.
Rob, fire back, Rob. Fire back.
James.
Rob, you made him mad with that 25-point lead.
Hey, listen, it is what it is. James, you have to
I'm gonna
listen
get
to
to
what I
that
say,
next.
sir. You have to listen to what I say. I gave Julio credit. I gave him credit for being able to play. Like I say, he's been more durable. But I knew he was done when he couldn't get off against that sorry Cowboys secondary week 2. I gave up another huge lead. Ridiculous. Yeah, I said it.
James,
So
anything else, James, before I move on? Because
I'm just being honest. James, look, James, me and you are boys, but we're just being honest here. The Falcons have Kyle Pitts now. They have Kyle Pitts. By week 5, you won't even think about Julio Jones anymore. You come back and talk to me week 5, all right? You won't even be thinking about Julio Jones.
I'm gonna still think about it because I got a jersey in the closet. I gotta get a jersey.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And then hold on. We do have Weapon 8. Hopefully he pans out. I'm looking forward to that. I gotta talk about the Super Bowl thing real quick. Last time I checked, Julio was a wide receiver, not a corner, not a safety, not a linebacker. I mean, I know I've seen some highlights where he's trotted out there on the last play to knock down. Has a couple interceptions, by the way, too. So he probably could play safety or corner. But I don't remember Julio Jones being on defense when we surrendered 25-point lead.
Well, guess what? Guess what? Last I checked, he ain't from Europe. And Giannis Antetokounmpo was scared to go to the coach to demand the ball. Get your butt to the coach and demand the ball, Julio Jones.
All right, y'all. That is it.
You're freaking Julio Jones. Get your ball. Get your butt to the coach and say, Coach, I'm Julio Jones. I'm the man. Give me the ball.
He just want to give the ball. All right. So we're gonna
find out.
We're gonna find out if this trade will look good for whoever here in the next year, or at least next year or two. Find out who wins this trade officially in about a year or two. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for my favorite segment of the show. It is time for everyone to put out the fire. Now, I don't even know what I was gonna start with on this one. But I think I'm going to start with Rob on this one. I'm going to let Rob start off. Put out the fire. Rob, put out the fire, sir.
Choo-choo.
Talk about the NFL preseason, right? The NFL preseason is going to be hot this year. Now, when you talk about the NFL preseason, you have a guy in Jordan Love. You have Fitzmagic. You have a whole bunch of other guys need to prove themselves. Even the guys we just talked about in Tennessee. You need to prove yourself in the preseason. Show that you're ready for the season. But especially in Green Bay, if Jordan Love comes out and he shows, because you know how we overhype things these days. If he comes out, shows big improvement, does big things on the field, the Aaron Rodgers will be traded. Now, if he comes to the stakes of the joint, they'll be at his door begging like Keith Sweat. So Jordan Love, preseason, all the pressure, sir, is on you. Go, Pack, go.
Keith Sweat.
I'm hoping that everything you just said is true, because that's all I have right now is hopes and dreams.
The preseason's gonna be on fire. The
preseason should be interesting this year. The preseason should be interesting this year. Next, James Brown. It is time for you to put out the fire, sir.
Darrell, this one might hurt a little bit, but it's gonna be about your boy Aaron Rodgers, man. I feel like at this point, Aaron, you have the world's attention. You have all of Green Bay, Wisconsin's attention. Tell us what you want. Do you want to play in Green Bay? Do you want to leave? Do you want a new contract? Do you want to be the highest paid quarterback? What do you want? Because we're tired.
He wants that
Aaron.
Fourth Divergent movie released.
We'll make it happen. Mark Murphy, Gutekunst, whoever. What do you want? It's hard to work with somebody when they're trying to tell their buddy, their friend. James Jones is now relevant because he's a liaison for Aaron Rodgers to the Packers to figure out what they want. What do you want? You're a grown-ass man. What do you want?
What do you need?
He wants a Jeopardy.
You got Zoom.
He wants a Jeopardy
You got
gig.
Skype, FaceTime. You can go back to Uvu. What do you want? Call him up. What do you want?
He wants Danica
Love
Patrick to win a race.
Well, I don't know if he wants that anymore. I don't know if
You
he wants
heard
that
me
anymore.
here. You heard
What
me.
do you want, Aaron?
You heard me.
What do
Now,
you want?
Jay, is your chance, sir, to put out the fire.
Okay, so I have a problem with the way the NFL is handling players that are not vaccinated. It is their choice to do that to themselves, not knowing what the side effects might be. So if they're not vaccinated, they have to be tested daily for COVID. They have to be isolated away from everybody else. They can't eat in the cafeterias. They can't use the weight rooms with other people. That's bullshit. If they decide not to put that in their body, that's up to them. Because everybody else is vaccinated, why are you worried about them giving them something? Jesus, get your head out of your ass. You guys are supposed to be smart.
Jay, I got a question. Could
Yes, sir.
could this for you, and this is a important point. Could this lead to a strike?
Potentially, because here's the thing: people that have had cancer are reluctant to get this guy. Right. So I know that Eric Berry is a free agent. He's had it. James Conner, another guy that is a cancer survivor. Are they going to force these people that could be at risk of way worse side effects because their body is, experienced this stuff? That I know it's the F word, but it's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree. I mean, it's a tough situation to put people in. I mean, it's people scream about your body, your choice, and I know we're going a little bit off topic on that, but your body, your choice is your body, your choice. We don't. When females make that decision to do whatever they do when it comes to pregnancy, it's the same dream here. It's your body, your choice. You want to get the vaccine, great. But like Jay said, hey, if you get the vaccine and the vaccine is supposed to protect that person, if the other person got it, you should be solid. At least you should be solid,
guys.
But,
and I hate to use this word. But it's an ugly word. This is segregation.
Yeah.
It low key, real low key. If you don't think about it, it is that. It's like you're separating people.
It's a dirty word, but it's segregation. It ain't good.
It's a new form. Now, look, normally y'all know I don't put out the fire. I don't normally put out the fire, but I am going to put it out today.
James had a question, or James wanted to add something.
James, you go first, and I'll put out the fire after that.
I mean, to be honest, I feel like this is going to be a rule that might be enforced on paper. I mean, think about it. Once a few quarterbacks come out and say that they're not going to get the vaccine, I believe Sam Darnold may have still said he was looking into it. This is going to start to become a non-issue unless guys start testing positive. I mean, do NFL teams really have multiple lunchrooms on the facility? Like, is this like high school where you have like a lunchroom A and a lunchroom B? Is there a weight room A?
You're not vaccinated. You go eat with the
and is there going to be a different time schedule? It's like, if there's a DB that's vaccinated and a DB that's not vaccinated, does he go and eat lunch at 12? And the non-vaccinated DB go eat lunch at 1 once they clean out the lunchroom and all that?
Dude, I've got a whole list of things that they're supposed to do. Like if they travel with the team, they have to wear their masks. They have to socially distance. And once they get to the hotel room, they are not allowed to leave to go eat anywhere.
All right, so I gotta put this comment up before I go on fire.
We'll see if Sam Darnold follows those rules or has to follow those rules.
Becca says, our wonderful NASCAR expert, can we put out the fire on Darrell Owens' beard? Oh man, Becca, that's tough. I worked hard. Becca, I worked long and hard on this, man. It's got us.
35 years of like coloring shit in.
I'm not Rob. I can't grow the massive beard like Rob.
Look at James. What is James doing?
Jay, this has been 36 years in the process, Becca. So at least let me have this. I've been working hard.
2 weeks of. Oh wait,
man, I'm not talking to you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put out the fire. All right, so here it is. Look, ladies and gentlemen, here's my dream on put out the fire. So I'm actually piggybacking off of James here. The Aaron Rodgers situation, because so many people keep asking me, Darrell, how do you feel about this Aaron Rodgers situation? Look, as a Packers fan, yes, every year the Packers are in the playoffs, they're making moves, they're doing this and that. Yes, they had a top 5 offense last year. They have a top 5 defense, a top 10 defense last year. But here it is in a nutshell. I think it all is about respect. When it comes down to it, it ain't really about the money. A little bit about the money because, yes, he wants to be up there with the top 5. He's an MVP. But when it comes down to it, it's respect. The man wants to be respected. When you see all of these guys, your Tom Brady's, your Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson, he still gets what he wants, even though he's still a little disgruntled at the time. But he still, when he acts, for the most part, he gets what he wants. When you see all of these other top flight quarterbacks going in there and they talk to him, hey, what do you want? Aaron just wants to be included. I don't think he wants to make all the decisions, but he wants to be included. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. Do I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Green Bay Packer next year? My heart says yes, but I'm just not 100% sure. I just don't know if that's going to happen. And here's the thing. If it does extend past the preseason, and I'll bring Robb's point up, if Jordan Love has a decent preseason, the Green Bay Packers will be like, all right, we riding with Jordan Love. That's what they're waiting for. That's why the Packers are not rushing into this. They're going to wait the preseason. They're going to see how Jordan Love does it. He's going to get some reps. They're going to check and see how he does in the preseason. And I know it's preseason, but if he goes out there, it's like, man, Jordan Love, lighten it up. Jordan Love, they're going to forget. I know this could sound crazy, but this is the Green Bay Rose. They're going to forget about Aaron Rodgers. And that is the craziest thing I thought I would ever say. I hate it. I wish they get it fixed, and let's get this thing going, because there's a small window. Small window. Don't buzz me, Becca. There's a small window. But I'm hoping that they'll get this fixed. It's a very small. I hope they get it fixed.
Same record as Don McNabb in NFC Championship game 1-4. Just wanted to point that out.
Oh man, he got a ring out of it. He did get a ring out of it. At least he got a ring out of it.
I'm gonna point this out. You said Aaron wants respect, like Mahomes, Brady, Russell Wilson. You know what those guys have that Aaron doesn't have? An owner. There's no owner in Green Bay.
I never
if
thought
Aaron really wants that, come out and say you want to trade.
Let's be
He's not
honest.
going to say it. Yeah. I don't think he wants to go.
There's no owner in Green Bay. There's never going to be an owner in Green Bay. If that's the respect you want, go to a team with an owner.
And let's be honest.
He's got to go.
Let's be honest.
That's what he wants.
After the NFC title game against San Francisco, during that game, his body language sucked. Aaron Rodgers has been very lucky. He's been a diva throughout. They come about wide receiver divas. He's been a diva throughout the years. And let's just be honest. Devontae Adams, you got a running back. You got a pretty good defense. It was top 10. You got a really good offensive. Mind you, his number one offensive lineman went out injury. Going to the playoffs. But nobody talked about that because nobody really cares about offensive lines to the quarterback.
I talk about it.
Right? Exactly. I know
Celebrate.
All I'm saying is this. The Packers have a Super Bowl ready roster. And bottom line is, Aaron Rodgers, if this was 5 years ago, he would have ran that thing right into the end zone. But he's just a little old now, so it is what it is.
That was all towards me. I had to throw it in there in the comments. Yeah, Becca was coming for me in the comments. She was like, Darrell, it was time to end it. So now I got my piece out of there. My fire has been put out for this episode.
You feel better?
I don't know yet. I still feel like eventually I'm going to have to address this once the season gets closer.
We're going to get a headline. Aaron Rodgers traded to the Texans.
Why do I have
for training camp when he doesn't show up?
I don't think look, here's the thing. I really don't think, it's not going to be till the preseason until we know anything. Aaron Rodgers, that shirt that I'm offended with the smiley face, I think at this point it feels like he's either attention, like he wants the attention. He wants to hope that Green Bay will give him respect. He doesn't want to leave. That's what it comes. He really doesn't want to leave. He won't demand.
He's been talking to Favre every week.
Oh, they've been all across there. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, that's it. That's it for this episode. Legacy on Fire. Episode 12, season 2. So glad to have the guys back. It's been a couple of months.
Yes.
A lot of things been going on, but starting to get in the groove. Be expecting this for the next couple of weeks. We're going to have it for the next couple of months, I should say. We're going to have episodes next week. Right now, we've got 2 guests confirmed. Our man Lamont Thomas of the Commonwealth Sports Talk will be on, and Danny Thompson from the 3-Point Conversion will be coming on. We will get one more person, but we'll announce that later on in the week. Now, before we get out of here, James, anything you want to say, brother?
Book, rest up. Phoenix going to need you for the Western Conference Finals. Let's make it happen. I'm going to ride with the Suns for the rest of this postseason. I'm hoping they get it done.
Jay, anything you'd like to say before we get out of here?
I just, God bless, and also shout out to my nephews, Jason, Brady. I told him I'd give them a shout out. Love you guys.
What about you, Rob? Anything you got to say before we get out of here?
Aaron Rodgers for a fake. What is he talking about?
I don't know what Steve's talking about.
But anyway, I just want to say
He's a Raiders fan. Just let him chew on his mic.
I know. I just hope everybody have fun out there. I hope you enjoy my once again domination. And I'll be back again. I'll be back again to take down Falcons fans once again. Love you, James. You the man, bro. You the man, bro. You the man, bro.
Just so you know, I was his main target last year until we won the championship. Thank you.
You know, that's it. You know what? I'm not. Look, I come on this show to breathe, you know, not to have to think about bad memories. Rob bringing up 28-3 for James. You over here bringing up this NFC championship crap.
And I was almost over it.
Hey, Darrell, real quick, because I know we got to go real quick. What happened on that onside kick in Seattle?
Oh, come on, man. You know what?
Hey, who wanted you guys to kick that field goal?
That's a flagrant too, Rob. That is a flagrant too. You're out.
Hey,
You're out. That's a flagrant too. That's a flagrant too.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm still angry about that. The Packers should have won that game. I'm sorry, man. Go Pack, go.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have everybody on. Thank you. Don't worry, the fellas will be back. We got more coming. We're going to be bringing this heat every week live on Wednesdays. The time may fluctuate between 7 and 8, depending on, but we will be on. We will go live. Thank you all for joining us once again for Legacy on Fire. I is your man, Darrell Owens. Until next time.
Don't pop them hamstrings.
Oh, yeah, don't pop the hamstrings, y'all, because that's not going to be a good look. Peace.